Caitlin Clark's preseason debut drew 1.3 million viewers. This news will probably leave Angel Reese's mom in shambles.
Caitlin Clark just delivered a TV ratings explosion so massive that NHL executives are nervous, NBA preseason schedulers are puzzled, and the WNBA veterans are rushing to adjust their narratives. What just happened has thrown the entire basketball world into a frenzy, and let's just say, not everyone is happy about it. In fact, the envy is so real, even Angel Reese's own mother is losing her mind.
She's upset. She made a couple of comments a couple of days ago about people literally covering statistical data involving attendance. That's a problem. That's hate.
Tickets for this game actually sold out within the hour, and people were lining up for over 3 hours before the game just to get into this arena.
Clark's preseason debut didn't just grab attention, it completely took over the national conversation. In this video, we're breaking down how she just reshaped the landscape of women's basketball, why the Reese camp is in full panic mode, and what it all means for the future of the sport. What's unfolding isn't just historic, it's downright hilarious and incredibly revealing. If you're ready to witness greatness, type "fired up for the fever" in the comments. Let's get into it.
Other WNBA teams are going to have to think of another solution for Caitlin Clark because they're not going to be able to guard her the way that they did during her rookie season.
We're talking 1.3 million viewers for a Saul preseason WNBA game. Yes, you heard that right, preseason. Caitlin Clark didn't just beat the viewership of last year's WNBA Finals opener, she completely blew it away. Oh, and she also casually topped the NHL playoffs and NBA preseason games. That's not a ratings boost, that's a ratings explosion.
This was a preseason WNBA game. It is unbelievable what it is Caitlin Clark does.
And this wasn't some quiet, low-energy exhibition either. Carver Hawkeye Arena was absolutely electric, sold out and shaking like it was the Final Four. The same place where she made college basketball history is now witnessing her return, but this time, she's doing it as the face of a pro franchise.
So there were 14,998 people in attendance for this game. Average reported ticket price was $650. That is almost $9.75 million just for a WNBA preseason game. This team is going to break so many records this year: attendance, viewership, merch sales, all of the things.
While Clark was lighting up ESPN and fueling a crowd so electric it gave you chills, someone else wasn't enjoying the moment. In fact, someone was furious. Enter Angel Reese's mom, phone in hand, grudge fully loaded, and ready to fire off a fresh wave of accusations. Because apparently, every time Caitlin dominates, someone in the Reese household feels the need to jump online and throw a tantrum.
It's hate when you point out that the Sky game drew 6,373 fans at the college where Angel Reese won the national championship.
Yep, while millions of fans were celebrating a historic moment for women's basketball, Angel Reese's mom was busy crafting a fiery little post aimed directly at Caitlin and her supporters. Subtlety clearly isn't her thing. The post was filled with loaded language, pointed blame, and enough passive aggression to make a Real Housewives producer take notes. Why all the drama? Simple. The numbers don't lie. Caitlin Clark is pulling viewership the WNBA has never seen before, and that reality is hitting her critics hard.
This game beat NHL playoff ratings. A WNBA game, a preseason WNBA game, not only beat those ratings, destroyed them. More watched than any NBA preseason game since 2018, all but 2 NBA preseason games since 2010.
Caitlin Clark didn't just show up, she blew up the entire sports media landscape. Her preseason debut wasn't just another game, it was a full-blown cultural moment, wrapped in a jump shot and delivered like a primetime event. That 1.3 million viewership stat? It's not just impressive for the WNBA, it's historic. She pulled numbers that entire leagues dream of during their regular seasons, and she did it all with a smile, a step-back three, and absolutely zero drama.
People were so excited for this game for many reasons, but the main one being that Caitlin Clark would be returning to Iowa to play at Carver Hawkeye Arena.
And let's talk about that crowd. Carver Hawkeye wasn't just packed, it was electric. 15,000 fans, shoulder to shoulder, standing room only. Little girls proudly wearing number 22 jerseys. Lifelong basketball fans holding signs that read, "I drove 300 miles for Caitlin." This wasn't just a preseason exhibition. It was a full-on coronation.
The Brazilian national team, even though they lost by that much, it still seemed like they had a great time. Caitlin was signing their jerseys after the game. They were taking photos with her.
She's my role model. I really look up to
The average seat cost was $670. And that's not just historic, it's unheard of. Yet the fans showed up, paid up, and packed the place. Some resale tickets even hit $6,000 for a preseason game. That's Clarkonomics in action, and trust me, this is just the beginning.
The biggest thing about this team, other WNBA teams are not going to be able to guard Caitlin Clark in the same way that they did during her rookie season because you have so many assets on the court now. You are not going to be able to trap Caitlin Clark because there are so many other threats on the floor.
And what did Caitlin do under all that pressure, all that noise, all those eyes watching her every move? Oh, nothing major. Just dropped 21 points, including a Steph Curry range 3 within the first few minutes. She ran the floor like a maestro with a baton, sparked energy in her teammates, and reminded everyone that she's not just a player. She's a full-blown revolution in motion.
She hits her signature logo 3 from 36 feet, actually behind her signature logo that was on the court.
But this isn't just about the scoreboard. Caitlin Clark is reshaping the very DNA of the league. She's turning casual viewers into die-hard fans, doubters into believers, and even networks into believers, with checkbooks in hand. She's not just playing the game, she's changing how it's consumed, sold, and celebrated. Merch is flying off the shelves, tickets are selling out, and social media engagement is through the roof. ESPN, CBS, ABC, they're all watching now because Caitlin Clark has made women's basketball unskippable. And yet, not everyone is cheering.
The highest rated NHL game was roughly 430,000 viewers behind only 2 NBA preseason games in the last 15 years had bigger ratings than this game. It outdrew Game 1 of the 2024 WNBA Finals. Oh, get mad. Get angry.
While most of the basketball world was still picking their jaws up off the floor, Angel Reese's mom decided to fire off a social media manifesto that could only be described as petty meets performative. She didn't drop names, but she didn't need to. Anyone with an internet connection knew exactly who the target was: Caitlin Clark.
You got Angel Reese's mom. She put this out in the public space. Oh, that certain fan base looking in the stands, celebrating quote attendance, while others are looking up in the rafters celebrating championship banners. We ain't the same. Different years, same haters. Have a great day.
Her claim? That Caitlin's rise is more about privilege than performance, that the media hype is artificially created, and that her daughter was demonized while Clark got applauded for doing the same things. You know, the same old tune.
1.3 million viewers on the TV rating for Caitlin Clark's preseason debut against Brazil in a blowout, sold out in front of 15,000 fans at $670 a ticket. She is the needle.
Caitlin Clark returned to Iowa yesterday. It looked like the entire state of Iowa shut down. This is what the drawing power of a real star looks like.
Let's be real, this isn't the first time we've heard this tune. Ever since the LSU-Iowa NCAA showdown, complete with the "you can't see me" theatrics, the Reese camp has been simmering over how Clark gets praised while Angel is painted as the villain. And now, with Caitlin breaking records and stepping into the WNBA like she owns it, the bitterness is boiling over. Reese fans cried foul, Clark fans clapped back. But through it all, one thing remained clear. Caitlin Clark didn't get handed anything. She earned everything. With decades of reps, a highlight reel for the ages, and stats you can't ignore, this isn't about the media crowning her. It's about her seizing that crown with both hands and refusing to let go, all because of her skill, grace, and absolute class.
She made a homecoming, and the arena was less than half full. 13,215 available seats. They didn't even sell half of those. One is moving the needle. The other one is not even fluttering it. Instagram followers do not translate into viewership on television during actual basketball games.
But oh no, Reese's mom wasn't done. One spicy post wasn't enough. She went full-on PR meltdown mode, liking, reposting, and co-signing every inflammatory take that accused Caitlin Clark's fans of being racially biased, or worse, part of a grand media conspiracy designed to crown Clark while sidelining everyone else. If there was a tweet suggesting that Caitlin's fans were secretly plotting in a smoke-filled ESPN boardroom, you bet she tapped that heart button. Even as journalists and analysts tried, really tried, to steer the conversation back to actual basketball, the whole discourse got hijacked. What should have been a unifying moment, a win for the entire sport, was instead turned into a battleground of identity politics and social media finger-pointing. Tribalism took over. Reese's defenders dug in, Clark's defenders clapped back, and somewhere in the middle, a basketball revolution was quietly getting overshadowed.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
And she's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
And let's not forget the one person who wasn't participating in the circus, Caitlin Clark. While everyone else was composing Twitter threads and playing the blame game, Clark stayed laser-focused on the only thing that actually matters, her game. No subtweets, no press statements, just buckets. While Reese's camp aired their grievances, Clark was dropping defenders and selling out arenas like it was her side hustle. And guess what? That silence? It's louder than any online rant.
The state of Iowa experienced something yesterday that they have never experienced before. Traffic. Crowds. Thousands and thousands of people were standing outside of the arena hours before the game even started.
Still, the resentment pouring out of Team Reese is telling. At its core, it reveals an uncomfortable truth about the moment we're in. Caitlin Clark's dominance is so undeniable that it's creating fault lines across the league. This isn't just about basketball anymore. This is about power, pride, and who gets to control the narrative of women's sports moving forward. Because when Caitlin Clark sets viewership records and becomes the face of a league overnight, it doesn't just challenge the game, it challenges the gatekeepers. The question isn't just how good Caitlin Clark is, it's who gets to define greatness in this new era.
Angel Reese loves the attention. She is extremely popular on social media. When she posts provocative pictures, thousands of lonely dudes give her the validation that she so desperately desires.
We're not just talking about a one-sided beef, we're witnessing a full-blown tug-of-war over the future of women's basketball. For years, the WNBA has fought for relevance, pushing for better pay, more exposure, bigger crowds. And to be fair, those strides were hard-earned. The veterans have grinded through media indifference, travel nightmares, and paychecks that would make a college intern scoff.
I didn't plan to shoot that logo 3. I know coming into the game, everybody wanted me to shoot one from there. But Steph was like, was supposed to come out at the end of the third, so she's like, give a foul, give a foul, give a foul. And then it was 30 seconds on the clock, which like between 30 to 33, that's like your 2-for-1 range where you have to get one up. So I saw 30 as we're inbounding the ball, which probably is inbounding the ball at 30, probably a little low. But I was like, why not?
Then Caitlin Clark shows up, and suddenly the league is trending every day. Networks are bidding like it's the Super Bowl, and average ticket prices have quadrupled in places that never sold out before. It's the kind of surge the league's been dreaming about. And yet, it's coming with friction. Because for players like Angel Reese and supporters who've been there through the lean years, it feels like someone just skipped the line. They've been grinding for respect, and now here comes Caitlin, getting it in buckets, and it stings.
Angel Reese is also influential in hip-hop culture. She has made cameos and music videos. The popularity of Angel Reese, it is an illusion. Caitlin Clark has managed to break through the niche culture of celebrity to become a mainstream draw. You could make the case that Caitlin Clark is the biggest draw right now in sports.
That's why Reese's mom's posts hit harder than just a social media squabble. It's not just about Clark, it's about the anxiety that the game's center of gravity has shifted, and it's shifted fast. But here's the part they're missing. This isn't a zero-sum game. Caitlin Clark isn't taking anything from the league. She's bringing more to it. Her impact isn't subtraction, it's multiplication. Yes, the spotlight's on her, but the ripple effects benefit everyone. More eyes, more money, more opportunities.
How embarrassing! Now, you're not going to hear this from the mainstream media who continues to pretend that the Bayou Barbie is beloved. You're not going to hear this from the media who continues to pretend that Angel Reese is a huge star.
And no matter how uncomfortable that growth feels for some, the receipts are undeniable. TV networks are begging to broadcast fever games. Opposing teams are relocating matchups to bigger venues just to keep up with the ticket demand. Clark's jersey is flying off the shelves like it's a championship t-shirt. Even WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert had to admit it. Clark's debut had the kind of economic firepower the league has been praying for.
But since Caitlin Clark has entered the league, the prevailing conversation around the WNBA has been drawing power.
Let's be real, the game is growing faster than ever, and Caitlin Clark is the rocket fuel. Yes, veteran players absolutely deserve their flowers. They built the foundation. But Clark is the high-rise. She's the one drawing in casual sports fans, parents with daughters who now want to play, and yes, even die-hard NBA fans who are finally giving the W a shot. The base is expanding, And that's a good thing.
One of them packed 15,000 paid fans into the arena. The other couldn't fill the lower bowl.
But here's the danger. If the league allows bitterness to define the conversation, if resentment drowns out opportunity, then this golden moment could slip away. That's what makes the drama from Reese's camp so frustrating. Instead of capitalizing on the moment, they're feeding a narrative that could turn fans off. New viewers don't want social media wars. They want basketball, they want excellence, they want stars. Caitlin Clark gives them all three. And let's not pretend there's some balanced rivalry here. Caitlin Clark doesn't have a rival. The WNBA is desperate to frame it that way. For drama, for ratings, for legacy building. But this isn't Magic versus Bird. It's Jordan versus whoever he's facing that week. The gap between Clark and the rest is wide and growing. She's the needle mover, the face of the league, and the reason arenas are buzzing.
She does everything she can to keep her name in the headlines, yet for some reason, it doesn't translate to ticket sales, doesn't translate to television ratings. Angel Reese was the biggest star in Unrivaled. Hell, she was the only star in Unrivaled. No one was watching.
Still, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark will be linked forever. That NCAA showdown made sure of it. And if handled right, this could become the rivalry that fuels the league for years. Gritty, entertaining, headline-grabbing, but only if the competition stays on the court. The next few months are pivotal. Clark is already proving she's more than hype. She's humble, locked in, and leading by example. If the league follows her lead, puts the game first, and sets egos aside, the future is blindingly bright.
But look at their career trajectories since then. Caitlin Clark is the only draw in the history of women's basketball. Angel Reese couldn't sell out home games at LSU, couldn't sell out home games in the WNBA in Chicago, can't fill half the arena for her homecoming celebration. Caitlin Clark doesn't beg for attention. Matter of fact, I would imagine that Caitlin Clark gets tired of the attention.
But if it lets off-court drama overshadow on-court brilliance, if voices like Reese's mom keep hijacking the spotlight, then the WNBA risks becoming its own worst enemy. Caitlin Clark didn't just break a TV record, she shattered a ceiling. She pulled millions into women's basketball and proved there's a massive audience just waiting to fall in love with the game. Now it's up to the league, and every player in it to decide whether they want to keep building or keep bickering. Because one thing is crystal clear, Caitlin Clark is rewriting the rules. She's not just a player, she's a movement, a ratings juggernaut, a future MVP, a generational talent. And the only question left is, who's ready to grow with her? If you're ready to watch greatness, type "fired up for the fever" in the comments, like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out.